Hey everyone and welcome. If you're buying a home right now, you know the feeling. You're so excited, but you're also kind of stressed out, especially waiting on that appraisal report. Well, today we're going to clear all that up and give you a real deal timeline for what to expect right here in Fuquay-Varina.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. You've done it. You've found the perfect house, you fought for it, your offer is accepted, and it feels like you're in the home stretch. But then you hit the waiting game. And the one question on your mind is, how long is this going to take?
And boom, there it is, the answer you're looking for right at the top. The whole shebang, from the minute that appraisal is ordered to the minute the report is done, is typically 1 to 3 weeks. We're not going to make you wait for the bottom line.
So let's talk about that number. Because let's be real, 1 to 3 weeks can feel like an absolute eternity when you're just waiting for the final go-ahead on your dream home.
Yep, that 1 to 3 week window is the standard we're seeing right here in our local market. But the key thing to get is that it's not just one long, agonizing wait. It's actually a series of steps. The order, the scheduling, the visit, the number crunching, the whole process.
So let's pull back the curtain and see what's actually happening during those weeks. It's not just some black box of waiting, it's a structured process. So let's dig into what the steps really are.
You can really think about the whole thing in 3 main acts. First, you've got all the behind-the-scenes stuff, ordering and scheduling. Then you have the part everyone thinks of, the actual on-site inspection. And finally, the really critical part, the analysis and report generation.
Okay, phase 1. And honestly, this might be the most surprising part of the whole thing. A massive chunk of your wait time, it happens before anyone even steps foot on the property. Just getting the inspection on the calendar can take 1 to 2 weeks in the greater Raleigh area, and that includes Fuquay-Varina.
Then we get to phase 2. This is the part everyone pictures, right? The appraiser walking through the house with a clipboard. But ironically, it's the fastest piece of the entire puzzle. It's a one-and-done visit.
And after that quick visit, the real heavy lifting begins for the appraiser. This is phase 3. They're back at their desk, digging into market data, finding comparable sales, and putting it all together in that official report. And that takes about 3 to 7 business days.
So let's zoom in a little bit on that on-site visit. What are they actually doing when they're walking through your future home? I promise you, it is way more than just a casual walkthrough.
So, how long will they be there? It could be a quick half hour for a standard house, or it could be over 2 hours if the property is bigger or more unique. But again, look at that. Compared to the weeks of scheduling and analysis, it's a pretty small slice of the pie, right?
And this is basically their to-do list. They're like detectives, documenting everything. They're snapping photos of every single room, the garage, the outside. They're taking detailed measurements to make sure the square footage is accurate. And they're assessing the home's overall condition, looking at big-ticket items like the roof, the layout, and any recent upgrades.
Okay, so we've got our 1 to 3 week estimate, but you knew there was a but, right? That timeline isn't set in stone. There are a few key things that can really stretch it out.
And this is probably the biggest factor of all, the property itself. Think about it. A pretty standard house in a Fuquay-Varina neighborhood, easy peasy. There are tons of comparable sales or comps nearby. But a unique property out in a more rural area, well, finding good comps is way harder, and that can easily push your timeline out to 4 weeks or more.
And here are a couple of other big ones to keep on your radar. Trying to buy a house in the super busy spring or summer market? Appraisers get slammed, so you should definitely expect that timeline to lean closer to the 14 or 21-day mark. Same goes for your loan type. If you're using an FHA or VA loan, you need a specially certified appraiser, and there just aren't as many of them around, which can create a backlog. Now, this is a really interesting curveball that affects the entire industry. The number of active home appraisers in the country is actually shrinking by about 3% every single year. So what does that mean? Fewer experts, more work? You can see how that creates bottlenecks and can lead to delays for everybody.
All right, that was a lot of info. So let's boil it all down to a simple cheat sheet with the absolute must-know takeaways.
So here's what you really need to remember. Number 1, plan for 1 to 3 weeks total here in Fuquay-Varina. 2, remember it's broken into 3 stages, and the scheduling part often takes the longest. 3, don't stress about the actual visit, it's the shortest part. And finally, number 4, just know that your personal timeline can shift based on the house, the loan, and how busy the market is.
It really leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? As the market gets trickier and the number of appraisers continues to shrink, how are we going to accurately and efficiently value what is, for most of us, the biggest purchase of our entire lives? It's definitely something we'll all be watching.